We were in Delhi when my husband was 39 and he had a heart attack, and I was about 35 then, and it was really a bolt from the blue, and my daughter was just 7 years old. So yes, that was a tough time when I had to really step up and really understand what this caregiving is all about. There was a period when I had gone to the doctor and he said, "You're clinically exhausted," because it was so much of. It started off quite early, maybe when I was about 31, when my daughter was about 2 years old. She was a late walker, she had several developmental delays. So yes, she needed a lot more attention, how she ate, when she slept, what she did, what she watched, how much she watched, lights, a whole lot of things that could trigger a seizure. And also she needed help in terms of her studies and all that initially. My husband also had developed cancer, and that was a tough period because he had it in his femur, and there was almost a year when his mobility was very restricted, so he needed help with a lot of things. So then it became my husband and my daughter in terms of medications and keeping an eye, especially my daughter when she was younger especially. It was also the time we lost my father-in-law. He had been very, very unwell and in the hospital at the same time, and so there was help. I had to take care of my mother-in-law who was grieving and ill, and my husband, and my daughter, who also, I think because of the stress and college and whatever, she suddenly had started having seizures after almost 10 years of being seizure free in college. So that was a stressful time, and yeah, so that's been the journey. Then in terms of, yeah, I mean, there are times when I have ranted and raved with my husband's brother's wife and my husband's brother who live in Bombay, and sometimes I've said, why don't you all come down sometime, and now I don't hesitate to ask. Earlier I felt it's tough for them, whatever, but now I've realized that they need to share, because it's very tough for me to deal with it all on my own. So especially with my mother-in-law. So I have spoken to them, and I do tell them that you need to share this responsibility, and I know that you're in a different place and not possible all the time, but whenever you can, I would really appreciate, because it's tough to deal with, because I have my husband and my daughter. It's not a constant thing. Thankfully their situation is stable, but at the end of the day, if anything happens, then I have to step in. So that responsibility and that onus does lie with me, and you sometimes you do feel that there have been moments when I feel that why me, and why do I have to from all sides be surrounded with this, but then other times I think that thankfully even though life is tough, life has difficulties, but we have overcome them, and you just have to be positive and deal with them the best. When the situation arises, just deal with them the best way you can, and I think that's taken me through all these so far, and hopefully it will take me through whatever else has to come in the future. So I don't like to live in think about tomorrow and what will happen and how will I deal with this, and I think it's a pointless exercise. You just ruin your time today and so I just live in today and just enjoy it to the best, see how I can deal with it, look for things to enjoy. I'm all the time trying to plan holidays and outings and all, so just create the most value in today, and in the time look at only positive things. Yeah. Yeah, she wants her treat. It's all new. Being a mother is new, being a parent is new, and then when a child has issues, it is very stressful, because it becomes an added fear all the time that what is going to happen if you have been out a little late and then she has a seizure. There's a lot of guilt because you feel like I should have been more careful. So it's tough, it's frustrating, and there have been many occasions when I've kind of let go and just lost my temper with her, and initially I used to feel guilty about it, but I think now I've at more times when when we are at good times, I have had a chance to have a good dialogue with her, and she has understood that I don't mean anything by it, but it is frustrating when she's difficult, or it, because you're human and you there is only so much you can take. So yeah, there have been times when I've kind of let go. So the one thing that, I mean, there are many coping mechanisms that luckily I've been lucky to have, and one of them is that I got into a spiritual thing, which was the Buddhist chanting and a Buddhist group that I became a part of, which really made me feel much more empowered. It made me feel that everything that I need to deal with, I can deal with. I mean, I have that potential to deal with it. So and to really value myself also, that even though I'm doing all of this, I have value, and I have to respect my own self as well. It's not just taking care of other people and taking care of their needs. I'm also important, and I need to respect myself. So thankfully I got into that quite early. So I don't devalue myself. There's no self-negation. I've learned that long ago, that there should not be any self-negation. I'm also as important, and I have to take care of my needs as well. So so that was one coping mechanism that really helped. Another thing that worked for me is that I continued working. Even though it was flexi time thing, I took a big a drop in the earning thing, salary, all of that, and I luckily got into recruitment, which was flexi time. I had a boss who was very understanding, so that kept me going, because you go to a different place, you use your mind, you have a whole different set of people. It's a real great stress buster. So that was really, and your self-worth, everything it helps you with. So that was a really good coping mechanism. The third thing is, I have a great set of friends. I have really cultivated and developed a great set of friends and cousins and family who have become friends. So at any given time, I can pick up the phone and vent to anyone, to one of my friends. So I don't have to hold it all within me and build up the resentment. So I can really talk about it. In addition, what I do is, I don't really keep it within, even with, whether it's my husband or my daughter or my mother-in-law, I find the right occasion, but I do talk to them about it. This is what you do, and this is very tough for me to deal with. So you need to, I'm there for you at any given time, but please respect XYZ. So that dialogue is an ongoing thing. It goes up, goes down, and with life, each one going through their own things. But I've kept that dialogue going. So these are basically my coping mechanisms that I have used. Actually, he said, that you should take care of yourself. When I said I don't have time to exercise, I don't have time for this, he said, no, please go and do it. It's very important that and so he's the one who used to push me to say, go and do what you want, do this, do that. Don't have regrets that you didn't do it, Never to think that we are weak or that we cannot handle it. Everything is there and we can handle it, we can take it in our stride, and never to think that we are not important. We are as important as anyone else, and not just so that we should be strong to take care of our loved ones and be there for them, but we should live our lives. We should be able to live our lives, take our joys wherever we can, get our pleasures wherever we can, be with people who make us feel good, or do the things that make us feel good. We should take time out for that, because that is almost as important as because we are important. I think not to lose sight of the fact that each one of us is important, and each one of us is our life has so much value. So I think that's the only way to be without otherwise you get bitter and it gets you down, and all of that. So I think you can cope with everything else much better if we initially I would be doing a lot of things and getting a little frustrated and feeling, why is my life like this, but if I feel like that now, I say so. I say it to the people and I get it out of my system, and I talk to people about it, and I really do things that without feeling guilty that why did I go and see a movie, when I could have done this, or why did I do this for myself, or why am I watching so much of Netflix? I feel I deserve it, you know. So I think it's important to, really give ourselves as important, especially as women, because as women, I think we keep devaluing our lives and devaluing ourselves, and thinking, as long it's okay, I don't need this, but I don't think that's true. I think we all need it, and we should be able to look back at our life and say that, that we had all these, but I also enjoyed my life. We are so much a product of our conditioning that you have to really recondition your mind to not feel guilty and to do the thing. So now I do, even now sometimes I do feel guilty if if a friend is over and I go to another friend's house and they say stay the night, and then I'm thinking, how do I make things work at home, and all of those things. But yeah, I am doing it more and more, and going for holidays with my friends or going for reunions with my college friends, and so I really go because it really rejuvenates you. It makes you where you're not thinking of family, you're not thinking of anyone, you're having a good time. And when I do call up to check up, my husband keeps saying, "Why are you calling us up all the time?" So I think it's a good thing. I think it's important.